right now on KIRO 7 News.
911, what are you reporting?
I am reporting a substation that appears to be on fire.
Lights out in Western Washington. KIRO 7 shows you new video of a suspect in the act during the Christmas Day attacks on power substations in our area.
This domestic terrorism.
KIRO 7 discovered more attacks across our region.
We have somebody who's inside the substation right now.
And investigated security across our area.
Do you know when we visited your substations?
Is our power grid ready for the threat?
We often take it for granted our electricity available at the flip of a switch, but a growing number of criminals are attacking the country's grid, throwing people into the dark.
And now KIRO 7 has found out there have been more attacks in Western Washington than even the feds are reporting. Our Lindsay Sheldon went to a dozen power stations from Snohomish to King to Pierce counties. And experts say people are talking online about how to do this, Lindsay.
Monique and Aaron, disturbingly, this idea is out there all over the web. A security expert at Bonneville Power Administration wrote in one email, online extremist groups across the political spectrum are not only calling for attacking these types of sites, but also spelling out in detail how to do it.
911, what are you reporting?
Yes, I'm a security guard for CPU Home Power. I'm reporting a break-in at a substation.
For the first time, we're seeing surveillance video from the attack on this Tacoma Power substation in the Elk Plain area of Pierce County Christmas morning. At 5:10 a.m., a man approaches the equipment. And as you can see, he has something in his hand. Fast forward to 5:12 a.m.
He definitely triggered some sort of circuit breaker.
And the power goes out. This was the third substation in Pierce County hit that morning. Before it, this one at 2:39 a.m. Then this one at 5 a.m., plunging thousands of people into the dark. 14 hours later, around 7:20 p.m.
911, what are you reporting?
I am reporting a substation that appears to be on fire.
A PSC substation on Kapowson Highway erupted into an electrical fire.
If the transformers blow, they are very explosive.
Gary Moore lost power but flipped on his generators. He knows others weren't so lucky.
They were without power for 24 hours it took to repair the substation.
6 days later, the FBI arrested Matthew Greenwood in this trailer in Puyallup. They say this was him in the surveillance video and seized these guns from his home. The FBI says Greenwood told them Jeremy Crahan was the getaway driver. Their motive, Greenwood told the FBI, was to take out the power so they could go to a local business, drill out a lock, and steal from the cash register.
He's a domestic terrorist. He might have been doing it to rob a store, but it's still a domestic terrorism.
Deputies say the only burglary on Christmas with a drilled-out lock was in the morning at this restaurant. The suspect stole about $100, but did not take a tip jar and bank bag with additional cash. So it's unclear why they would have attacked a fourth substation hours later. But experts say it is clear that across the country, the number of attacks is growing.
We've seen people have this willingness to actually go after infrastructure in a way that they never would before. It's quite a cluster.
John Wellinghoff was the chairman of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission.
It really is a wake-up call.
New numbers show Washington is tied with Texas for number 2 in the country for the most physical attacks on power facilities last year, 20, including several attacks in Lewis County with wires. But the data did not mention this June attack there with chains. Or 2 attacks we discovered at this Tacoma Power substation, October 3rd.
They threw chains up on the transformer.
And October 5th.
I think the first thing they need to do is assess putting in ballistic barriers in front of the critical parts of the infrastructure. Continuing to have simply chain link fences and cameras around those facilities is not adequate.
So KIRO 7 went to a dozen substations over 3 nights across Snohomish, King, and Pierce counties. The equipment is pretty close to this fence to get a first-hand look at the security. We spotted security cars a couple of times. And at this Bonneville Power substation, we spotted plenty of security measures.
We have not seen any security guards coming by, but we have seen at least 3 cameras.
A couple minutes later,
Hi, officer. How's it going?
Renton police pulled up.
We just got a call from security, just wanting to know what's going on out here.
From Bonneville Security?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys filming?
Before long, another officer arrived who explained concerns about attacks were exactly why security called them.
Bonneville has been increasing security over the past few years and certainly accelerated that with this most recent threat of sabotage emerging.
Doug Johnson says one of Bonneville's Oregon substations was hit with gunfire on Thanksgiving. After that, BPA security sent this email mentioning attacks in Western Washington that included small caliber firearms.
Some of these experts are asking for cement walls around substations or even ballistic barriers. What do you say in response to that?
I think you have to find a balance.
Our visits also included the 4 substations attacked on Christmas Day in Pierce County. Because of the multiple attacks at this Tacoma Power substation, we spent an hour there.
Camera right up there.
But no one ever showed up to ask us questions.
Do you know when we visited your substations?
I'm not sure we know when you visit our substations.
John Nierenberg is Tacoma Power's manager of system planning and operations. When we asked him about the October break-ins, Nierenberg told us,
Each time we've had issues, we've progressively added to our security measures.
So why were they able to get in on Christmas Day?
There's only so much we can do to prevent somebody from breaking into any facility.
Are you going to ensure that this does not happen a third time or fourth time, really?
We don't want to explain how we're protecting our systems, but we've proactively taken additional security measures.
so why not replace all the fences with more beefed up security? Both Tacoma Power and BPA say funding for that would come out of customers' bills. So it's a question of whether they want to pay for it. As for the October attacks, the FBI told me it is looking into whether or not they're connected to the Christmas Day attacks.
Wow. And Lindsay, you go to the station in Renton, police are called immediately. The 4 that were actually attacked, nobody showed up.
It was surprising, right? I mean, we went to that one that had multiple attacks, stayed there for an hour. Nobody at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they certainly know of the threat. It's a threat across the country. And so that's why you've even teamed up with our sister stations across the country.
Oh, yeah. We visited more than 50 substations across 7 states, including North Carolina, where gunfire took out power for more than 40,000 customers there in December. And they found a lot of the same issues. And in fact, federal regulators have now ordered a review of security standards all across the power grid.
So we know you'll stay on top of that review and what comes out of it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks so much, Lindsay.